Hello and welcome to My 11th Circle presents Cricbuzz Live, the third, the final, the decider. It all comes down to this, doesn't it? Hi, I'm Gaurav Kapur. I don't know why I'm getting so worked up. It's not like I'm going out to play. But we are here to play with you. That's right. We're going to have a bit of a game ourselves, aren't we? And of course, helping me get through this deciding game is Mr. Ajay Jadeja, is Mr. Zaheer Khan. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Very good.
Are you excited?
Looking forward, yes,
really
excited,
looking
excited about the game.
Do you think that the two teams, did you feel that they were excited or were they a little nervous or were they just going about like just another day at the office?
You could make out both the teams have done their homework. They've analyzed and reanalyzed and again thought about what is the right way of going forward, and that's what they've done. I think from Indian team's point of view, it was taking the confidence from the previous match and backing the same playing 11. So that was the thought process which was evident. KL Rahul's praise from the captain, praise of the bowlers from the captain, and getting the whole troop ready for the big one was something which was very evident. I think Finch had to make that forced call, but on the hindsight may turn out to be a good call. You could see that from the previous match. We were talking about, maybe on the hindsight, Australia must be thinking that, okay, winning the toss, we had that option of deciding, we didn't really focus on conditions. We were focusing on the result of the previous match and decided to be proactive in this game. And
that's why I chosen to bat, won the toss and
chose to bat. Yeah, so that is a different thought process, which is the result of what has happened in the previous two games and the lessons from that. So I think both the captains are trying to be proactive. Both the captains are trying to set the tone, and both the captains are expecting the team to step up that one notch in this deciding game.
These are two teams that keep stepping up. Now, if they step up even more for this decider, there's a cracker Sunday in store for you. Ajay, you agree with Aaron Finch's decision to bat first in Chinnaswamy in this decider, letting Virat chase at his home ground, so to speak?
Yeah, I'm one of those who always believed in, or believes in, winning the toss and batting first, especially if the wicket's good. If the wicket's good, then what are we saying? Okay, chalo, the first part of the game, you not get into trouble. You're not expecting 3 down for 40 or something and the game could be lost. You feel the wicket's good, you'll score runs. It's only about now whether we get 298 or you get 340. So if you get one guy at the end also doing it, so you get to that total, and then chasing 340 we saw. Go back to the first game. We scored only 255, the same batting, same bowling, slightly different conditions, but when they came out to bat it was different. But when they came out to bat, when they had to get 340, it puts a different kind of pressure. In a must-win game, or in any game, you must win the toss and bat first. You never know what happens later. It might start raining. Batting karke ghar chale jao, mummy bula legi, kuch hoga. So batting first has always been my mantra. And in a must-win game, it's always easier to start. See, imagine this to be a World Cup final. He's played a couple, so he'll probably understand that better. Batting first, you are only 2 guys in the middle when the real pressure comes. Sorry, if you bat first, then you'll have 11 men at the end fighting when the real decision could go either way. When you're equal teams, the game doesn't finish in the first 30 overs of the game. No team would be out of the game. So it'll be a competitive game. It's a final. So it boils down to last, say, 10 overs. What happens? You've got 11 men. You've got 3 or 5 bowlers that you can actually choose from looking at the situation. But the batting team has only those 2-3 batsmen left. You have nothing to choose from. So from all angles, I always believe in, in a must-win game, get in there, bat first, and, let the other team take the pressure. You can enjoy. It's a good wicket.
That's right. And this is, it's Chinnaswamy. It's always going to be a good wicket. Scores here are always sort of 300 plus, small boundaries, of course. And that Australia batting lineup's quite a powerhouse. Remember, just the one change they've made today, which is they've got Josh Hazlewood in for Kane Richardson, which is actually, as Aaron Finch said at the toss, It's more because of injury, the soreness. Now, remember one more thing that I want to talk to Zach about is that this is a very rare sort of phenomena. Only a one-day gap between two one-day internationals, right?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much become standard world over that you have a two-day gap.
Right.
A one-day gap is it's hard, man. I mean, 100 over cricket isn't easy. You can get sore after that, after bowling 10 overs, can't you?
Yes, and you add travel to that.
Yeah.
And many a times you've seen that after air travel you'll find that that extra bit of rest is required. Also, when there is only one day in between, the recovery also has to be adjusted around that, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if you played, for example, the previous match in Rajkot, the next day if the flight is early morning, so you are actually changing that routine or your sleep pattern as well, because more often than not, when you're playing day nighters, your routine is a bit
It's
sleeping.
different, of
Yeah,
course.
like getting up late because you have plenty of time to prepare, and when you're especially preparing on a match day, you cannot do a session very early in the morning. Also, they say the session has to be 3 hours, max 3 to 4 hours before you start before the start of play.
Yeah.
So so that is something. So even if you are awake, if you are an early riser and awake at 6 o'clock, you still have to wait for that time. Otherwise.
Much
the
like Ajay,
soreness
like he,
comes
early
into play.
riser, used to be up at 6 o'clock every
So
day.
all these schedules patterns get affected, and when you have that extra day, so you have a travel day, then you go and then you have a practice session.
By the way, their flight was
in
also
that you
delayed,
can
huh?
manage yourself.
Their flight was also delayed apparently. Australia's flight was delayed like 3 or 4 hours, which is pretty standard these days when you're flying anywhere in India, especially if you're going from a small airport like Rajkot. Sorry, it's a smaller airport. No,
Yeah,
I don't want Ajay to like get.
No, it is a small airport, but at least.
छोटा है ना? हाँ. I've been there. It's a very small airport.
Yeah, because
थोड़ा बड़ा बनाओ ना सर, कुछ करो ना.
राजकोट का?
Yeah.
जामनगर का ना बढ़वा दूं. No, it is really tough. I mean, it takes, you saw the next day.
Yeah.
No matter, how fit you are, because when you go out there, the fitter you are, you put in that much more, your effort's gone in. And leave this, why do we say in test match cricket, if you bowled 20 overs today and the next day you have to come and bowl, and if your team gets all out again and you're bowling again on the third day, the same bowler who bowled on the first day looks such a potent bowler, and on the third day, he looks totally different. So
Yeah.
this is like that. And Australia have been smart enough and been, I think, flexi. You got to be realistic sometimes and be, and this is where your bench strength really comes into place.
Yeah.
If you have somebody who's sore, he's not unfit, he's not as strong, he's not feeling as strong or he's stiff, you have somebody to replace.
Look at the guy they have to replace, Josh Hazelwood.
Yeah.
Not a bad replacement, we'll take that any day.
So say Shami, if he's sore or not, he still has to play at the
Yeah.
moment. That's how our team is. So when we talk of bench strength, I think, and I've always believed the guys sitting in the 13, 14, 15 in the side, maximum people should be fast bowling, because that's the one that breaks down the most.
Yeah.
And that's the one that needs replacement the most.
What a point.
Batsman with a fracture in his hand also can actually, go out there and do the job that he needs to do and doesn't affect your team performance. But for a fast bowler, even if he's slightly stiff, say whether the calf is stiff or the lower back is stiff,
Yeah.
your whole bowling performance or what you can deliver really changes. So I think an advantage there, because and this is where fitness comes in.
Yeah.
Fitness is not just about running 100 meters, but can you recover and come back the next day?
Yeah, and run another 100 and then another 100.
But-
and I think Zaheer Khan will agree with us when we say that fast bowlers are definitely the most precious commodity in cricket. Yes, of course. Just the nod. That's all.
Indeed.
Indeed.
That's right. Okay, what are you thinking? What are you thinking when you make your team? Who is the most precious commodity for you? Make your My 11 Circle team. Of course, choose your 11. You can choose the 11, which is a combination from Indian players and Australian players. That's the beauty for My 11 Circle. And of course, if you can make a team that can beat Dada, in 3 times. 3 times if you can beat Dada. It ain't easy, but once in a while that gets done. It's time for our My 11 Circle expert advice. Ajay and Zaheer will now tell you, while you're making your team, who should be your captain, because your captain is going to get you double points. So effectively, they're trying to pick the ace performer for today. Sir, thoda crystal ball little bit, please.
No, so
Future soothsayer.
you always harp on captain getting double points and
Yeah.
vice captain also getting bonus points, but there's much more to it, isn't it? When when you're playing this fantasy, you have to think of, okay, what is the venue, what is the kind of pitch they're playing on. So if
Absolutely.
it's a pitch which is batting friendly, then you have to.
Like it. It's a
you
game
have
of skill. That's why we have you here to
so
advise us.
bowlers can have tough day, and then you put as many batsmen as possible when the wicket is going to be helpful to seamers or someone is in great form. You analyze it. So there is a lot more to it, I think, than just figuring out who your captain is, because on that particular day, anyone can have a great day. So you're actually looking at Australian team and Indian team here. You have top three which are like powerhouses.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have to now pick one amongst them, thinking that who is going to have
Come on, Zach.
the best.
You found a very roundabout way of not answering my question.
What was your question?
Yeah,
What was he? He's got lost in his own deep thought. I'll pull you out of that. The captain. Who do you think is going to?
I'm saying
it's
evolve
most runs.
yourself. I'm saying evolve yourself. It's been how many shows now? You're saying captain. Yeah.
So should I change it to who should you not pick in your team?
You are good with changing. Yeah, you can do that.
I'll tell you that. Not a spinner today. Spinners traditionally have not done that well at Chinnaswamy. So if you're picking a captain or you're picking your 11, don't pick a spinner, because spinners don't have a good time usually at Chinnaswamy.
That's true.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But then what about Zampacola?
But I think
Can he make it 3 out of 3?
For today's expert advice
Yeah.
of who should be the captain, let me simplify it. Now you're again going here there. So I think Rohit Sharma is the one. He is due.
Rohit Sharma is not the one, Shikhar is the one. Rohit is the Sharma, Shikhar is the one.
Shikhar is the one.
Shikhar.
For you.
For me, I'm choosing
For me,
Shikhar.
it's Rohit Sharma.
It's Rohit? Okay, for him it's Rohit.
I'll today go across, and because they're batting first. First thing that's going to
That's
happen
right,
is,
yeah.
and he's the key. I think the key to today's game is Aaron Finch again.
Yep.
I'd go with him or Warner. If pick whoever you like, because can't be. But these two one of them has to get a big score in Australia, and one of them will get some score for sure, and he'll get you some points. But if Australia has to win, then one of these guys has to win you points, maximum points. There's full match left after that.
Yeah.
But Australia will only win if one of these two guys is either the captain at the end of the day or vice captain. So pick one of these two. That's my advice.
Pick one of those two. Pick one of the Australian openers, or like Zach and me are saying, pick one of the Indian openers, right? But then what about the guy who comes in at number 3? Sorry, number 5. Sorry, number 4. Sorry, number 2. Or depends on what day it is. KL Rahul is the man for every season, seems to be for the Indian cricket team, at least in the last few months. From number 4 to opener to the first game in this series where he was number 3 to, of course, doing so well, getting the 80 as number 5 in the previous game. And, of course, great work behind the stumps as well. So, talking about KL Rahul, the man for every season he is, let's have a listen to how he has been adapting to his changing positions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great challenge, and I've come into the series in the last couple of months have been good, and I've been in decent form, and I'm pretty confident about my skills. So, just coming up to every game and having a new responsibility and a new role is also a blessing. I don't think a lot of batsmen get that. So that's how I look at this, and I'm enjoying my batting. So wherever I get to bat, and I just want to put up the performances for my team. Yeah, look, I mean, I've always opened the batting, so that's a position, and that's the order that I'm most comfortable in, and I know how to build my innings. But like I just said, it just there's so much, I get to learn so much about my own self and about my batting, and just batting as an art. When I get to bat at 3 or 4 or 5, and I'm kind of enjoying it, and I'm finding new ways to counter bowlers, new ways to handle the situation, and I'm just enjoying it for now, and I don't look at it as pressure. It's something that it's an opportunity, and I'll try to play it the best I can.
Brilliant. He's looking at it as an opportunity, as a challenge. He doesn't think that his batting position going varying is too much of an issue for him. He's using that as a challenge, and that's a great attitude, isn't it, Zach? It's a great attitude.
I think he's finally come to terms with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a journey for him. I think if you ask him, he'll say that, you know, earlier he had shown resistance to that. You know, at times you just want to be in your comfort zone and say, okay, you know, this is what I want, and
Which is opener, clearly saying that.
Yeah, exactly. So that is his comfort zone, and he's still sticking to that. But what I think journey of last couple of years has brought to him was that, you know, batting in those different positions. So earlier you can actually, you know, get frustrated or not really focus too much on the things which are not in your control. Like, you know, if you are batting at a different position and thinking about, okay, my best position is there, that is going to affect the way you prepare. You know, so I think he's channelized those thoughts into saying that, okay, you know, what if I'm batting at number 4? How can I approach it? I think he's tried to find those answers, and that has helped him just focus on the right things. You know, control the controllables, and that is what he was trying to express there.
Yeah.
I think, you know, he's understood. Okay, if I'm batting at number 5, what all I can do? Which are the good batsmen who have been making that impact in that situation? How are they building their innings? What are the key processes they are following, or how they are building the innings? So that is something, you know, which has helped him understand, and then you put those things into your batting style.
Yeah.
I think, you know, that's what he was trying to mention, that I've analyzed other batsmen, I've understood what is my batting style, and how can I do the similar kind of things to achieve similar kind of result, which is consistency, and which you've seen from the previous match, you know, when he scored 50 ball 80 runs, you know, so that is something which he's comfortable with now, and he's open to. So rather than saying that, okay, just make me open or don't play me, he's saying, okay, playing for India is the most important thing. You know, so I should be in the playing 11. That is the first priority, and then figure out. So, you know, if team is expecting me to keep, I'll keep. Team is expecting me to bat at a certain position, I will bat at that. I will adapt myself, and I think, you know, that change has given him more confidence now.
You can see
forward.
it in him. Huh? You can see it. There was something about KL Rahul about 12 months ago that when you looked at him, it just seemed like he was, you know, he was a little off. He was a little, you know, maybe troubled or something. He's looking comfortable. He's looking calm. Like just seeing him in that press conference, even for that 1 minute, and hearing him speak, Ajay, I think it's a great sign. As an Indian cricket fan, as a fan of Rahul's batting, it's very comforting to not just hear what he's saying, but just his body language and how relaxed he is, not just on the field, but also off the field.
Yeah, because when you relax, you're calm, you're waiting to react. You're not, because as a batsman, basically you can't be proactive. A bowler needs to be proactive and think what he's going to do, because you just have to wait and be ready for what comes your way. So if you're calmer, then you have that split second more, or you're not rushing through things. And I think ever since last year IPL, you know, when he started, you know, getting those big scores, and, you know, he's just looked better and better and better every day. And he's right. I mean, you got to look at this opportunity as, and there you are.
He's taken the opportunity, hasn't he? I mean, look, there's not too many that are happening in other
it's a beginning. I mean, it's one inning at 3, 4 and 5 and 6 is, you know, you may have a good day, you may not have a good day. It's like at 5, he's got that 80 and it looks like average of 80. But, you know, like he says, he likes opening the innings. And I think the difference between players who like opening the innings or have got used to always throughout their lives, for them to come back, the real difference is what? People who like processes or have a system of scoring runs, say somebody like Virat Kohli, I think is also like that. You'll see a pattern in how they score, because every day the game, when it starts as an opener, is invariably the same way. You have a same field. You know, you have 1 slip or 2 slip, or depending on the bowler, cover, mid-off. And this is the field that you start your first ball. But when you bat at 4, 5, 6 or different numbers, you might, you know, even at 4, say you might come in at 220 for 2. What's the field? There's no slip. There's, you know, the gaps that you're looking at or you've grown up working on it is totally different.
Or you could come in at 2 for 2.
2 for 2. No, 2 for 2, you'll still feel comfortable, somebody who's an opener. But so when they come in at 220 for 2, and if they need 10, 12 balls to settle down, then that situation looks odd to you.
Was your prep ever different? Because you've done that. You've opened and then you've come down the order. Did the prep, the mind space, the waiting for, it could be this ball, it could be this ball that I'm going in?
Yeah, so that waiting and the process is totally different. I mean, for me, I was blessed because I was not a process person. I'm never a person who has a routine of a kind.
Yeah.
So, and versatility is probably the most important thing. Because when you're opening, say you still score a 4 runs or you play a ball, the ball is harder, different lengths.
Feels different on the bat.
Let me try and put it in simple terms for
Yeah.
anybody to understand. The way I saw opening the innings and playing latter middle order, there are difficulties and easier parts of it. Very simple. When you're opening play, your aage wala ball is the defense wala because these guys swing it and that's the one that you worry. Anything short is run scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
As you come into bat in India, I know, at least especially when the ball was older and softer and reverse swing is happening, then your aage wala ball is...
Which is pitching up ball is...
No, that is
to
the
hit.
only one you can hit because the length piche wala doesn't give you that pace to cut over point and cut over wherever. So I found that to be a biggest difference. But the best example I think is Rahul Dravid.
Yeah.
He was also a top order batsman and he had to bat at 5, 6 and 7. And he probably went through a phase where, he couldn't get those singles. Then he added a very simple thing to his game, is when the ball comes to drop it right there and run, which you can't do when you're opening and at number 3 because that cover and point are right, up to you trying to stop that single. So he was used to those fielders being so close and he would not think. But as soon as he started doing that, the whole game changed. Because, baki shot is the same. It's a good ball that you have to worry. Na?
Wow.
Whether you open or whether you bat at 6, a half volley is a half volley.
Yeah.
But the difference is when you open a good length ball, you can defend and have a dot ball, there is no pressure. You can have 5 in a row, no pressure. But when you bat at 5 and 6 and 42nd over or 34th over you come into bat, you can't have 6 dot balls. Because the guy at the other end is batting 80 and he's saying, "Arey yaar, single leke mujhe de." So, पीछे खेलने वाले को people feel कि यार पीछे खेलने वाला ना मारने वाला होना चाहिए. नहीं, पीछे खेलने वाले को 2020 में भी उसको अगर सिंगल लेना आता है, he will always be successful.
The single. It's the single.
It's the single.
I'm telling you.
Me and the bars in Delhi.
You and the bouncers of Gurgaon, right? It's all about the singles. They're looking out for them. Okay, now let's have a look at the record at Chinnaswamy of these teams. Of course, India and Australia. It's a decider today at the Chinnaswamy. They've played 7 ODIs, Australia and India. This is Australia, right? Yeah, Australia versus India. They've won 2 of the 7 ODIs. They've lost 4. Hopefully today that will become 5. Just saying. Yeah. No pressure, boys. Yeah. Hopefully that'll become 5 today. Because you have to remember that there was a 5-game series that was about 11 months ago. And India lost the decider in that one. So India would not want to repeat that because, there's teams that you have competitions with. I guess for India, Pakistan is one of those teams. Australia is definitely one of those teams, right? I mean, you played so much against Australia. When you went out there, you're always motivated when you're playing for your country. It's a little extra when it's a team like Australia, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's like, dude, we can't lose to them.
You want to perform against the best, and Australia has been consistently doing well in across all the formats. They might have lean patches recently, but this team again looking like in a revival mode.
Yeah.
So that is what Virat Kohli also has been respecting. He's been respecting of that fact that this team has got the potential and they are really challenging us. So that is something which that acceptance also has to be there. But always, I think the Australians have achieved that edge to their team for sure, in terms of understanding what brand of cricket Australia is going to play. In between, they drifted away from that, but I think things are looking again how it used to look when Australians are going out there as a team. Particularly the brand of cricket which they've been playing, which is aggressive on the front foot, looking to put pressure on the opposition.
For these guys, Ajay, I mean, obviously you're looking at Chinnaswamy today. They are looking at a 300 plus score, perhaps a 320 plus score. To get a 320, 325 plus score, you definitely also need runs from your 5-6, right? Then number 5 and 6 obviously didn't get a chance to bat in the first game. In the second game, obviously didn't get too many runs. They will need those guys to be ready as well because, you just can't have your over-dependence on 1, 2 and 4 like they've had now, and with Labuschagne being absolutely new at 3. You need those as well. So they'll also be talking to 5, 6 and 7 saying, guys, if it comes, just like KL Rahul got that 50 ball 80, we need some contribution from you guys as well.
That's an important knock at the end too. It's like adding cherry on the top.
Yeah.
But basically, you won't get past 300 unless your top three do well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you look at the history of this game and number of people who enjoy it. Any game any team in the world who scored more than 300 runs, 9 out of 10 times, one of the top three would have definitely got a big 100 and 120, 130.
Yeah.
The last 20 runs might make a difference with 5 and 6 and 7. But the foundation is the most important. You get down 20 for 4. Maybe in the history of the game, there must be one out of all the one days that have happened that 20 for 4 and a team's got 300.
Yeah.
It won't happen. So 5, 6 and 7 have only a small role at the end to come and polish and all.
Yeah.
But Pehla Kam, I would still believe that it has to be, like I said, Warner or
For
Finch
sure.
or Smith.
100%.
When they get that big score, when you get past that 200 with 2 wickets down, ask then bowler. Then bowler is saying, "Acha yaar, 320 ho jaye, koi baat nahi."
Yeah.
But you get to 10 overs, 80 for 3. The bowler saying, "Yaar, 1 wicket yahan milegi na, we'll get them out for 220, 230."
Yeah.
So it is 6 balls versus 350 balls.
Yeah.
So I would like to believe that 5 and 6 have a very important role to play. But if 5 and 6 were so good, they would be at 1, 2, 3. So it is 1, 2, 3 that
Don't say that. KL Rahul is coming at 5. Poor boy, we just spoke about him feeling confident at 5.
Forget about it. All my life came at 5, 6, 7. I'm telling you why. Because if you are...
also came at 1 and 2.
But that's what I'm saying. Not good enough. That's why you have to go at 5. If KL Rahul had got 100 every time he'd walked out, he would have not been at 5 and 6. He went to 3 in the first game.
Yes.
Instead of 40, if he had scored 120 and we had got to whatever score, he would have still been at 3. Why? Kohli is back at 3 because even he gets 120, 30.
We need captain. We need captain courageous at 3.
But I am with you on that in the modern day game, in the one day game, that 5 and 6 also have to be capable of getting those big scores.
Yeah.
60, 80, 70.
Yeah, you gotta get those, and especially if Australia today is looking at Chinnaswamy, they'll suss out the pitch and they'll go, guys, we gotta get above 325. Otherwise, this Indian team, the batting unit, of course, loves chasing. Captain loves chasing. So let's see where they go. All right, I'm gonna get the guesses in just a minute. We're gonna play that game, but first, there's a game for you. This is the Joy Factor question. Let's have a look. Is it easy? Is it? Can you hit it into Cubbon Park? From Chinnaswamy. Australia versus New Zealand test match at Adelaide in January 74. I was there live. Saw something happen that has never happened before or after in tests. What is the event? What?
बहुत सारे भाई तो नहीं खेल रहे थे.
Brothers?
Could be, I mean...
Could be brothers.
I don't think... Chappell brothers, maybe all 3 or 4 of them. 3, na?
3? No.
2 though have played together for long, but I'm thinking of, is there any test match in the world that has had 3 brothers, real brothers playing?
No.
So it could be 74 or kya ho sakta?
Could be that.
Yeah. Or bushfire happened then and not now. Nahi, aisa kuch nahi.
Could be. I think the brothers situation.
Brother sounds the...
I think it could be. Is it? Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Send us your answers on Twitter. And of course, for our My 11th Circle Expert Couch, the person whose guess is closest to what the Australian total will be gets to sit on that fantastic couch. Let's get the guesses in. Chinnaswamy, Australia wins the toss. They are batting first. Decide a game. Little bit of pressure. Up, down, bullish, bearish. Where you go, where you go, where you go, where you go, where you go.
I think 295.
295 is the guess from Mr. Zaheer Khan, Mr. Jadeja.
No, India wins at 295.
Yep.
I think if Australia has to win, they need 329.
At
least.
29. India's going to win even if it's more than that. So I am saying...
Bol diya.
Bol diya to bol diya.
So what do you say?
317.
Oh, 17.
17. Yeah, not 70. 17.
No, you never.
317.
Modern day cricket.
I can say anything. That's
No, Chinnaswamy, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Nikita Shah kitchen it. If both start, Finch and Warner have a start, you could look at any score then. Because there's no
I
stopping.
can't believe you just remembered Nikita Shah from this. Really, we're giving away our age. You guys have, some of you will have no idea what we're talking about. But of course, when we watched TV back when it was black and white, there was Nikita Kitchenet. It was a 2-in-1. If both those burners start burning today, the afterburners of Warner and Finch, then boy, there is some catching practice in store if you're sitting in the Chinnaswamy stands. Perhaps if you're walking around in Cubbon Park as well. All right, but that's all we have time for. We, of course, are going to see you at the end of the 15th over. That's when the Combox will be here for a little update, so do join us then. Meanwhile, I'd like to thank Mr. Ajay Jadeja, Mr. Zaheer Khan. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming on a Sunday. You know, working on a Sunday, this is not work.
What's for lunch?
This is fun. That's right. Very important decisions have to be made. What's for lunch? Thank you for watching My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. We'll see you again soon. Stay tuned to Cricbuzz for live updates.